Hello there everybody, this is Sigma here. Here is my special surprise for you all. I've decided to revive my level editor tutorial series, and however this time I'm going to be focused less on the tutorial and a bit more on me building, showing you how I build and how I approach things. I'll go through how things work as I come across them in this series rather than doing that. So in this video you'll probably definitely see some building. I'm going to try and make it at least 10-15 minutes long. I'm going to include some tips and tricks and stuff as well for you all to follow along with. I'm not going to go over user interface or some layout theory. I've already got two videos of them from 1.9, and pretty much not much has changed. There's a few new tabs, a few new triggers and everything, but I'll go through them as I use them. I've already pre-selected a song for us to use, which is Dance to the Violins. I really like the song, I like the melodies, etc. Here it is if you haven't heard it. So yeah, we're going to be making a nice 2.0 level of this. You see, I was tempted to work on another project, but it was going to be like a collab with somebody else, and no, I don't want to build any collabs on this because I want to be entire level from start to finish in this series on camera and everything. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to get started. Before we do any colours or any decorations or anything, we need to put a layout down. Before we put a layout down, we need to decide when our next trigger into the next mode is going to be, so I'm going to do that right now. And it is going to be right there, so let's go ahead. So yeah, it's going to be there. I don't know what mode to do there yet, but I'll get there eventually. So now let's go ahead and throw it out. Oh, for fuck's sake. Okay, I'm sorry about all that. I've just decided to put the whole thing out because it was rather boring just sitting there watching me, because I was hardly making conversation or anything at all. So yeah, what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop here and try and explain what sort of setup I've got in terms of the layout and stuff. So let's go ahead and show you. Yeah, I'm going to leave that there for now. That is a long way away yet. Miles away. Anyway, we've got now we've got a basic layout. I'm going to show you a little tip first, something that I mentioned while I was building, but since I've decided to cut that out, I'll mention it again right now, since this is a tips video and explaining things as they go on. This is to get the deadlocked effect with the teleportation portals, where you go in one and you pop out another. So you go in one and you don't just go flying up, all it does is just change the position, because that's what they do on their own. I said do. So what I've done here is I've gotten a separate layer on here with portals and stuff that dictate what the actual portals do. You can think of them sort of control settings that you give to the teleportation portals, where you go in one, it tells it what to do when it comes out of the other. So basically, you can only have the jump pad coming out of one if you want it to have a bounce. Sorry about that, I'm dead snotty right now. You can have the portals in either. I mean, I could have put this one here for all I care. This thing, just yeah, it works. So yeah, you can put it in either. I've just chosen to put the second to keep it from getting too cluttered. good. So yeah, nice little tip for you there, how to change the motion in between teleportation portals. So that's pretty much all the layout I've got to explain right now. So that's pretty much half the video over, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to explain colours to you, because your choice of colour is very important and is the main reason I've never really seen you well lately. Alright, so the first thing you need to know about colour is you need to choose a nice contrasting background colour, or at least this is how I do it. I choose a nice dark background colour. I tend to make it low saturated just so it looks less sharp and in your face, so you can go for like a nice mild purple there, a nice colour, but it's a bit too bright. I see that's sort of like more of a background flash, so I'll make it darker. Like that. That's more of a background colour I'd like to use. Let's shift this around a bit. I always use sort of like pinky colours, so let's use more of a teal colour. Or should I? No, I think this is more of a pink at the start of the song anyway. So I'll stick to my traditional pink at the start of the song. That needs to be a hot pink. Let's bring it over here. Oh, that's much better. Still a bit bright though. So let's bring it a darker. Alright. Nice, just a teeny bit. There. Yeah, it's alright. No, it's still the same as before. God, I don't want to spend the next 10-15 minutes doing that. That's okay. Now when you're deciding on your ground, you're going to want to click show ground here, which is new in 2.0, so you get to see the ground. I mean, see the ground right now, it's ugly as fuck compared to the background, so what I like to do is I like to, well, depending on the ground you choose, for all of these backgrounds up here on the top row, all you need to worry about is the G colour. You don't need to worry about G2 whatsoever. All you need to do is just change your G colour and be done with it. It doesn't really matter, you can change it to black. Yeah. So only worry about the G if you're going with any of the backgrounds on the top row. What I'm going to do though is I'm going to copy and paste that to G. If you will, because it's technically just G1. In this series though, I'm going to be using this grassy background, which does matter. So what you need to know is that the ground 1 is sort of like the background or base for the ground, and the G2 is the lighter part that's on top. So in this case it's still blue, so I'm going to paste that again and I'm going to bring it brighter a bit. So yeah, there you go, we've got a nice background and ground, and I still need to change the background. It doesn't really matter what your secondary and primary choices are for background. If you're an effect creator or looking to be an effect creator, try looking at this background, sort of like the gradient one and the just plain colour one, because those ones are the most popular among effect creators right now. But since I'm more of a design creator, so I'm going to choose this background here, because it's already starting to fit in with the thing a bit more. So yeah, the background's sort of like made the mood nice and sort of like cheery, if you will. In 1.9, I really like the full colour channels, but since we've got more now, we may as well use them for utility. What I like to do is I like to use two different colours and layer them together with different gradients, etc. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go for the first colour, which is going to be a mild pink, like this. What I like to do is I like to lay out blocks of the colour, or something of the colour, just so I can see it. Yeah, that's a nice pink, let's go for that. You can also use blending to give it a bit of a shine depth to it. Yeah, shine depth is there, I just can't really see it very well. What I'm going to do is I'm going to copy these across into channels 2, where I'm going to make this a bit darker, a darker version, copy that one down into channel 7. Don't get what that copy and paste is for, it doesn't really work. What, can you like copy the channels and paste? Oh yeah, you can. Oh wait, what the hell is that? Let's just copy the colour then, I guess. Me effing about with controls rather than telling you how to use the controls I do know how to use. But as it can seem, I don't know what those copy and paste buttons do, but I can tell you that they're probably a bit broken. Or at least that's what I think. I tend to make the colour channels. I like to make the colour channel 6 and 7 use blending. I also like to have a black channel, make that channel 3, and a black channel using blending, which is a transparent channel. So, yeah, make that channel 8. And 4, 5, 9, 10, I'm going to go for another colour. When you think about a colour that would look nice and suitable, I always go for purple. Let's go something a bit more abstract. Maybe red. That definitely looks nice and abstract. Well, I'm not really looking at the red colour, I want something a bit more glowy. Orange. Yeah, orange. I like the look of orange. Make it a bit brighter. It's a bit too orange, you need to make that a bit lighter. A bit too light. So it's about finding that good balance between colours to get it just right, otherwise it could look horrible. Right, this is kind of experimental what I'm doing now. I might change the colours later, but this is what we're going to use for now. We're going to get a nice colour scheme setup shown here. Right, so we've got colour 1, colour 2, colour 3, colour 4, colour 5, colour 6, colour 7, colour 8, colour 9, and colour 10. I haven't coloured 7, 8, 9, what's it? 5, 9, and 10 yet. So let's go ahead and let's now copy 4 into 5. Make it a bit darker. That's nice, a little darker. The thing I don't like about orange though is if you make it too dark it looks brown, and brown is an ugly colour. Yeah, you see brown. I'm not a big fan of brown. It's just a bit of an ugly colour in general, really, brown. Yeah, that'll do. Copy that, see how it looks. Paste, blend. Copy, paste, blend. Looks okay, I could probably do better than that. That's why I don't like orange, because it looks just too much like brown. Well, I think this is alright. I mean, it'll do. I don't even see the point of putting a transparent and black one on in there was, but I got the base colours that I wanted to use, so yeah, achievement getting that pattern. Now, I've pretty much covered everything I need to here in terms of colour, so yeah, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to give you a few tips in terms of colour. First off, avoid opposite colours, they look ugly as hell together. So that is red and green, blue and orange, and purple and yellow. They look ugly as hell together. Don't match them up at all. If you're kind of a basic and don't know what to do with colours, try and stick with colours that are around the same area in the spectrum. So if you're going for red, stick with the reds. If you're going blue, stick with blues. Going green, stick with greens. So yeah, that sort of thing. Another thing is, try not to overcomplicate it when you're starting. I don't like overcomplicating it, that's why I only go for 2 colours and just make alterations of it. So yeah, try and keep things basic. Always go for a dark background colour which opens it up to flashes. However, if you want to, it's up to you. I'm not your dictator saying how you should make levels, so yeah, it's up to you how you do your background. I like to make it dark. Same with the ground. In fact, most of the time I used to make my ground black because I just think it looked good, and it probably did. Alright, so one more tip is that decoration and colour goes hand in hand. So whenever you're making decorations or designing decorations, which is what I'm going to be doing in the next video, you should try and tweak your colours to try and make the decorations themselves look as good as possible. So what I'm probably going to be doing that a lot next time when I'm making decoration, I'm going to be tweaking the colours around a bit more to try and get them to actually suit the decoration. So yeah, a bit of a layout colour thing this time. So yeah, one more playthrough and that's going to be it from me. See you in the next tutorial video then, I guess. And I hope you're glad that it's back. Oh my god, are you serious? Just, let's go then. There you go. I will see you all next time. Thanks so much for watching.